just kind of enjoy some of the fun. Hey, what's up, dudes? Kublik here, and welcome to Usoflyday, where we are playing some Fallout 4. Now, I do this a lot, but the thing is this is the character that I test with. I play on my own. This is my story character. And I felt like just playing a little bit of Fallout 4 and chatting with y'all. You can see the character that I like to play as. You can just kind of enjoy some of the fun. My character, that was a great intro shot. So this is the character that I play with when it's, you know, just for me having a good time, and I wanted to share a little bit about it because I felt like it would be fun to just enjoy your company while we walked through a mission. This mission specifically is the one with Nick, Nick's companion mission. And in this mission, we are on our way to locate a person that Nick had, now this is some story elements, and so if you guys don't want to know much about Nick's companion quest, that's what this is all about, is Nick's companion quest, the ending boss fight. And I was just gonna kind of play through it a bit. Now let's, a couple shots, see if he there we go, that's what I wanted to see.
I need some goddamn fire support!
Oh, where'd you go? So the gun I'm using right now is a rifle weapon that fires 2 rounds per every shot. Very powerful. Fires 45s, and that I have the rifle ability, so that's where my character's focused. I actually prefer melee characters typically, but it just when I was playing, it just sort of became a rifle guy. So rifle guy I am. I also really like revolvers. I really like this as a shooting style. It's just a lot of fun for me. My favorite way to do it. Anywho, we were talking about Nick, and I don't know where he went, honestly. But the actual mission that we're doing is, and remember, spoilers if you don't want to know what Nick's companion mission is basically, Nick has the memories of a cop. And why this particular cop? Not necessarily sure. What it sounded like is that he got a brain scan. Ow. What it sounded like is that he got a brain scan because there was a certain case he was doing. And in this case, it got really emotional for him because the person that he was in love with died. So they scanned this cop's brain and later end up just putting this brain into the synth that is Nick today. So after that had happened, Nick still has the memories of this officer in his head. And so he's still kind of emotionally attached to this woman that ended up getting killed. Now, where is Nick? I would like him to be here during this mission. I don't think I let him go or anything. But anyway, it's a sad one. And ooh, 50 cal. It's a kind of a sad story. And this guy, apparently, that we're going after to kill right now, he's a bad man, and he set up a way to protect himself because he knew the bombs were gonna drop. And so he actually is one of the first ghouls. That's a pretty cool weapon. I like it. So he's actually one of the first ghouls, and he set himself up so, you know, ghouls live pretty much forever. So that was how he did it. And he should be in this bunker down here. Now we're gonna hop in through here and see if Nick shows up with us.
Can't wait to see the look on what's left of Eddie's face when we pop that lock of his.
There we go.
Keep Eddie waiting.
So but Nick hasn't actually told us this about his the love of his life. Ooh, it isn't the love of his life; it's the love of his memories' lives. But I mean, debatably, it is, you know, him. This is something I've gotten into this discussion a bunch with y'all, where I'm not exactly. I did not hit. Where I'm honestly unsure what I believe on how consciousness works. Like, Nick is very much alive. We can feel that. He acts alive, he has emotions, he has feelings, and even though he's a robot, he's still our friend. And that's not weird to think about.
I don't think we're alone.
No shit, Nick. But he's definitely someone that we care about. And I mean, if I met a Nick in real life who was a robot that had this kind of mind, I would have no problem thinking this is a real, living human being. Did it just go bing bong? It did just go bing bong. I mean, and it's sometimes hard for people to get. it really does the overhead announcements. That's hilarious. Now, it's something that I get as, it's hard to kind of grasp the idea that human beings and robots, you know, aren't really any different. Like, but the real question that I would have, and this is the tough one, hey, Jingle's Moon Monkey, is Nick still the police officer that he has the mind of? That's the toughest question for me personally. Stop bing-bonging. Oh, nice, we got a police robot in there. Fortunately, I can't slip into that. Where are the other raiders? I'm having trouble finding them. It's kind of loud. Shit.
Don't worry, it's still a cat.
Thanks, dude. Okay, I ran into some mines. Get rid of the tin can. What the hell was that? So I'm not exactly sneaking, as you can see. My character is more of a fast shooting, just individual. Oh, I bet he has something that explodes like that. Let's do some cryo mines, just in case it's something I gotta be worried about. Hey! Hey! One more. There you go. So, it's a question. Is Nick so let me make it my argument for him being a person. He has emotions like human beings. That's one. He's faulty like human beings. That's another one. He was built after an organization that's all about trying to make human beings and like replicants of them. Terminal unlocked. So besides the emotions, you know, and the fact that he feels human, which actually I think is one of the most interesting arguments for humanity, is does the thing that you're talking to feel human? And that's kind of an odd statement, because it's like, well, in the scientific process, why would anyone think, all right, if it feels human, that's what matters? But as a human being, think about how we are all about feeling. Like, if I fall in love with someone, I know, wow, I'm poisoned. I know that it's just a chemical reaction happening in my head, but because I feel it, I can trust that feeling, or I could be like, yeah, I totally am in love with this person because I feel it. It's in there. So that specific thing is what could make a human or not make a human. If I feel like Nick is as human as any other companion, he might as well be a human. And I mean, maybe even more so than some supermutants. Poisoner's assault rifle. That's pretty fucking cool. I like that. Keep it clean, Boston. I like that. That's funny. So it's something where, you know, but the second question, the harder to answer question, is why the hell is Nick not following us down here? Nick, what's up, dude? Come back. Oh, I bet this is an yep. Disarm the scale. But that was set to a bomb. But the reason why it's hard to guess is if Nick is real or not.
Finally time for Eddie Winter to get his due.
I gotcha.
Nick.
Yeah? I never would have made it this far without you.
That's true.
Let's not keep Eddie waiting. Finally time for Eddie Winter.
Damn it, Nick, I just...
due. Yeah?
Fine. Okay, well... anyway, the argument of... I'm gonna sneeze. So, figuring out if Nick is him is a really tough question, and I'm gonna move into basically how people so far argue what is you or what is me. It's a couple arguments. The first one is based off of what you're built as. You know, are you your molecules, your genes, that thing. Nice. Now, under that argument, that would mean that Nick is not the same police officer that he was when they took the memories originally. And the reason being is that he's not the same pieces of him. However, this has a very obvious set of problems, if you think about it. For one, you are not built the exact same way you were built when you were born. Or when you were, you know, let's say you're 29, you have a very different set of cells and pieces of molecules inside of you at, you know, 17, then 19, then 22. Like, that's why we eat. We need to replace the old, not functioning as well pieces inside of us. We need to rebuild them. So those pieces of you are exchanged. Damn it! Those pieces of you are exchanged constantly. So it's like, okay, well, if we follow that argument that it's, you know, it's making sure we're the same pieces,
No way.
we run into this problem where it's like, I could actually be someone different than who I was when I was 7, even though that was still me. Now, it also brings up the other question, which is that if we took an exact replica of myself and put it on Mars and had 2 of me in 2 places or whatever, and then let's say we killed me or something, I don't know, this one here, am I, that was the exact same as me though. It has the exact same pieces. Or if you pulled them all apart and I technically died, you put them all together, I died, but they're all the same pieces. So am I alive? Am I dead? I don't know. That has a lot of questions. And I think isn't actually necessarily what people think, because that means we die every time we poop. Like, I know, weird statement, but it's kind of like that, because you're expelling mass. Or when you pee or whatever. Is that a cat? It is totally a cat. I'm taking that. So that's a weird, thing to run into. Then there's another kind of thing that gets involved in this, which is what is called the narrative mindset. And the narrative mindset is thinking like you have a story, right? A life story. You started at the age of 2, and this narrative is an unbroken journey. Like if someone put a recorder in your head and recorded everything, we could be like, oh, this is you, and that somebody who made the exact copy of you, we'd be able to go, no, look, this person was once nothing, and then we made a clone, so this is the real one, and this is the new one, because we have that same memory chip. Now, that mindset is kind of interesting too, because if you can imagine a situation where you pull apart the memory chip, right? You pull it out of a person's body because they explode in a fiery boom or something. You pull out the memory chip, you put it in something else, and the person remembers being burned, they remember it, and they even experience being the memory chip. Like, just waiting. Or maybe like sleeping. Like, it feels like they just went to sleep, Because the memory chip just put them in, and then they're like, oh, I'm dying, and then they wake up in a new body because you took the memory chip out of that body, put it into the new body. So, that is what is possible under the narrative argument, which is that your value and who you are is based off of one continuous story. And if that story is maintained, then you're maintained. There's some problems with that one too. I mean, for example, if you are in a position where, let's say you have amnesia or a fugue state, which is where your brain just forgets, it's just like, screw this previous narrative, I don't care. Because of that, does that mean that the person died? Some people would actually say like it's a different person. The person we knew died long ago in that car accident, but they had like some brain injury or something, and it's somebody new now, even though the body is the same body, the molecules are the same, or it's the same narration even. So it's like, even if it's the same narration, if the person on the inside changes, sometimes that doesn't feel right either. But, I mean, Vault-Tec launch boxes are weird. Anyway, but that's another weird thing that doesn't necessarily make sense. Because that would mean Nick could be the same guy, because they, scanned his brain, so it was, data wirelessly recorded. But it also creates another problem, which is what happens if, we scan a brain and we do this, and we move the mind into another body. I can cook this. Nice. Alright, so where was I? Another problem, because if we have the mind on a recorder and we put it in, right. That's the other problem is you and I naturally forget things. Our brain doesn't need to remember every single day of our lives to be able to be effective at just surviving, right? So, but under that mindset, if you forgot something happened, does that mean it didn't actually happen? Oh, Nick Valentine. Looks like we're gonna get some story here. So anyway, I'll finish up, not with the video, but the story. So if it actually happened, or it didn't actually happen based upon your memory of it, it brings us to this question of like, if you forget, do you die every time you forget? Because the person you were is gone now. That memory is gone. In the same way when somebody is in the same body but has head trauma and the personality dies, they're now different. So is it, are we our personality? But then you could say if someone else had your exact same personality but different memories, they're a different person. So it gets really weird. Oh, we're still following Nick, but I guess we're still going deep. Nick, you gonna start talking soon, or what's up, boy? Nick, what is this? Just it looks to me like a place where people would box. It's kind of cool. Anywho, oh, it actually looks exactly like there's people who would totally box here. That's exactly what this is. So, anywho, you know, that's another problem with the narrative idea, which is like, if you maintain the narrative and you forgot chunks of the narrative, are you really you? And so, is Nick the same officer? Because I mean, narrative-wise, not really. But you know, they took his brain scan, so his brain scan lived on. And but you know, from his that's hilarious. There we go. Get those screws and springs. So that's another thing that kind of makes it tough to know if Nick's who he is. And I want to, you know, if you guys are listening to all of this, go ahead, let me know down below in a comment what you think about it. Like, do you subscribe to the narrative idea that, you know, our story, as long as it's an unbroken story, is how we can actually identify who we are? I love that. You're gonna fucking pay for that! Sounds like I actually just destroyed something. And, Chancer. Interesting. Chancer. No, I want Chancer, please. Thank you. Sounds like, destroying, something in a store, and they're like, hey, man, you break it, you buy it, alright? See you, Chancer. Oh, don't try to heal. One more shot? Right to your skull, buddy. Oh, I missed! 90% shot, and I missed that. This reminds me of like, oh man, he's not dead. Now he's pretty dead. What was it? It reminds me of Mulan, where it's like, how did you miss? He was 5 feet in front of you. And it's like, well, that wasn't her thing she was aiming for, which it was the thing I was aiming for. Anyway, I wonder who we just killed exactly. Was you? Do you have anything pretty cool on? Not really. You're just a named character. I'll take that. Yeah, we'll keep following the dude that we were supposed to follow. His name's Nick. Oh, that's sweet. They got like a place where they go chat and do stuff up here. Oh, these tomatoes. They're tomatoes. They threw tomatoes at this guy. That's hilarious. All right, I wonder if they have a giant hook somewhere to pull everybody out. Anyway, we'll go back to following Nick again. Sorry, Nick. I know you're really excited about this, but ooh, I don't think this is necessarily the most healthy thing for you. Anyway, yeah, so do you subscribe to the narrative? Do you just subscribe to the unbroken? Do you subscribe to the idea that a mind can just work just fine? Nick, you ready? We're gonna go story now.
That filthy toad's right on the other side of that door. Why don't you do the honor?
Sure. 195372840.
I wish I could see my hand doing it.
The fuck?
I kind of wanted to just like shoot him.
Eddie, it's me, your old pal. Seamus McFuck yourself.
All this time, and the first person to walk through my door is a wise ass. Why couldn't you have been a sexy blonde? Just how the fuck did you get... No. No way. Not after all this time. Don't tell me you actually cracked my code.
He's got hair.
The holotapes? Well, hey. It's only been, what? 200 years? Well, look. I'm not sure what you thought you'd find. Gold, jewels, the secrets of the universe. But you get me. One guy. A ghoul, I guess you'd call me. Just living, surviving, and what I got, you can't have. That code? It was a joke. I just wanted to prove how dumb those feds were. Turns out, pretty dumb. So take your asses someplace else.
I'm not going anywhere until I get what I came for.
Yeah? And what's that? And who are you, huh? You look kind of familiar. But what are you, some kind of robot? Is that what it's like out there now? A world of robot overlords? I knew it.
The name's Valentine. Nick Valentine. Remember me?
Valentine? The cop? Is that who you're supposed to be? Sorry, pal, but you ain't Nick Valentine. You're just some kind of, machine.
You killed my fiancée, Jennifer Lands. There's some crimes even you can't get away with, Winter.
Your fiancée? You mean Valentine's fiancée? Pretty girl. A shame what happened to her.
Wow, this guy.
Hey, you? Or, you know, the real Valentine? He should have backed off when he had the chance. But what gives, Robot Man? Why do you even care? Some girl gets whacked 200 years ago, and you come into my home acting like a hot guy? Christ, look at you. You're not even alive.
Then I guess I'm in good company. So long!
Well, looks like we're gonna shoot him pretty hard now. Actually, that was a pretty interesting debate on what, Valentine loved that.
There's one more thing I've got to do. I wouldn't mind the company if you wanted to tag along.
Sure, Nick. Hold on. Let's see if he's got anything cool in here. Nick, hold on. Oh, crap. I want to explore this place, dude. Let's check it out. That was actually a...
Claire, it's me, Eddie. It's been too long, I know. But I'm okay. We're okay. I know it's weird me disappearing just when the heat died down, but there's a reason. What we talked about, it's happening soon. Bombs, missiles, I don't know what, but the end is coming. I can't even tell you how much I paid my cloak and dagger friend for this info. So I guess me building that shelter was a smart idea after all, huh? But look, baby, there is one more thing. The reason I haven't been around for a while. You know those idiot brothers at Wicked Shipping? The ones smuggling the radioactive material? I put the screws to them. Got some of the stuff. I've been working with this doctor in East Boston. Guy's a fucking genius. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but he had this theory. The right kind of radiation exposure at the right amounts, it can change human cells. Mutate them. Baby, I can live forever. Yeah, I know, it could kill me. I'm willing to chance it, but I can't risk losing you. So I'm the guinea pig. And I've been getting treatments. But don't worry, I'm fine. More than fine. I feel great. Amazing even. I think this crazy shit's really working. Eventually, this war will blow over.
Bingo.
And when it does, I'm gonna walk out into Boston and pick up where I left off. I'm gonna own the future.
Well, that's pretty crazy. So so Nick was right. He was going to try to take over the future. So here's a weird thing. He had a pipe pistol in his safe, his personal safe that he's had for 200 years. Why would you have a pipe pistol in here? This is a little ridiculous. I think you'd have like, you know, his piece or whatever that he had when we killed him. Anywho, so you hear, basically our Eddie Winter guy talking about what it's like. You know, he's like, Nick was a good guy, but you're not him. You're just a robot. You're not even alive, which you and I were just discussing that. And let me know down below in comments what you think about if Nick's alive or what specific description of humankind or personhood. Fedora's basement key, nice. You know, of what specific person makes you, what's your personhood? Is it narrative? Is it story? Like, is Nick living? Is he not? That kind of thing. How would I open this? Huh. Anywho, that story. Wow, I feel for Nick. I mean, not easy at all. To he was going after the guy who killed his fiance, and it sounds like Claire, I think, is his fiance. I think that was. Hold on, I don't know where all the tapes are. I'm trying to remember exactly. I'm sure he'll mention her in a second. Oh, off he goes. Nick, where you headed, man?
This is it. In this spot, 200 years ago, one
Jenny.
of Eddie's boys
No,
put a bullet in
Claire.
Jenny Land's back. Now Eddie's as dead as Jenny. And Nick. I'm at a loss. I just need some time to process all this. You mind if we get out of here? Yeah, that is if you're still interested in traveling together. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted some time on your own after all this.
It's,
Of course. Let's do it.
Well, glad to hear it. Come on, let's get out of here. And hey, thanks.
yeesh. It's a rough story, Nick. Tough one. Okay, so that was Nick's story. We also just got a level up. That was a little bit of my character, a little bit of talk. I wanted to go through the discussion about is Nick real and sort of discuss this and just have a good time about it, you know? Just sort of experience the wasteland through a slightly different viewpoint, you know, one where I'm not scared I'm gonna die every 3 seconds, and you can kind of see how I play when it's, you know, it's the more typical video game world. Anyway, dudes, thank you so much for coming by. It's a total joy to have you here. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Go ahead, click the button down below. If you want to see my permadeath roleplay, it's on the bottom right of the screen. And if you want to just see some other fun stuff, top right. So thank you so much for being here, and may the ground rise to meet your feet, wind always be at your back, and may the sun shine warmly on your sexy, sexy face. Dudes, see you later. Bye.